Sometimes the most painful part of getting sick is the getting better part. Waiting on hold for an appointment, sitting in crowded waiting rooms, standing in line at the pharmacy. That's painful. Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy remove these painful parts of getting better with things like 24/7 virtual visits and prescriptions delivered to your door. Thanks to Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy, healthcare just got less painful.
This podcast is sponsored by IQ Bar.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ Bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20 to get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. Again, go to eatiqbar.com and enter code BAR20.
Welcome to the Covert Narcissism podcast. I'm your host, Renee Swanson. I am not a therapist, and you are not a victim. Welcome to the Covert Narcissism podcast. I'm your host, Renee Swanson, and I thank everyone for joining me here on this journey and on this mission to spread the word about covert narcissistic abuse. Today, we have a guest with us. Her name is Michelle. Michelle, I just want to welcome you. How are you doing this afternoon?
Hi, good. I'm doing really well. I'm thriving. I just graduated from college and will start a new job starting the new year.
That's awesome, and what a great time of year for that to be happening.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It took a feat to get through it, but I'm proud of myself, and I'm going to be able to work on my own, live on my own, and be independent.
That's awesome. Now, you have not had that in the past. You've been dealing with a relationship with a covert narcissist. Can you give us kind of a little snapshot of what you have been in? Well, then we'll talk about where you're headed.
Sure. I've been married. I was married for, it would be 28 years. The end of December, we're releasing this in January, but December 12th of 1997 is when I got married. 3 beautiful children. I was a stay-at-home mom, and that was important for him, for me to be a stay-at-home mom. So I wasn't ever able to go outside of the home and make money. And it helped him have control over me, that's for sure. So now I'm 48 and my kids are leaving the nest, and I am starting my life over for a second better half of life.
That's awesome. And I'm really glad to hear that, that this is all happening and the timing of all of this happening with a new job. And maybe give us a little picture of, so what was it like trying to get on your feet while going through the divorce process?
It was a challenge, but I found that really key, important people showed up to rally around me. I think also after dealing with the abuse for as long as I did, it gave me the strength to want to go and put in all that effort. And so it was a process of being broken down and then rebuilding myself. I feel like my therapist really played a key role in that, in guiding me and helping me figure out what I needed to do to get out. And that was one of her most important things, was to get back in school and get a skill so that I could take care of myself once I was through that part of it.
Okay. And you were doing school while you were still then living within the marriage?
Yes. I started school while in the marriage. He was pretty upset about that. I was fortunate that they gave me a full ride scholarship, so I didn't have to ask for any money. That was a key part in it as well. And so he couldn't take that away from me. He couldn't say that that was because of him. It was mine. So I did do that, even though he asked me not to.
Okay. But at that point, you were pretty committed to your journey.
Yes, absolutely. The therapist that I've been working with the past 2 years really has helped me with that. And she was the one giving me every step along the way of what I needed to do.
Okay. All right. Was it kind of like a step-by-step process? You had to take this one little piece at a time?
Yes, absolutely. She started with first getting myself educated and dreaming of the job that I would want to do and be. And we worked from there. And then I was able to find the proper schools. I got my degree in medical assisting because I wanted to work in the med spa industry, something that I knew that I would love and enjoy, especially in heading towards my 50s. I knew that I would like that and wouldn't be able to afford it. So it was one way to afford it. So we started there. She had me start saving money. I started saving money and he found it. And she told me from the very beginning, don't keep it in the house. You have to move it to your parents or to a safe friend. I didn't do that and he did find it. She knew every step and move that he would make. And so without her help and guidance, I wouldn't have gotten through it as easily as I did.
Okay. How did that go down when he found the money? Did that deter you then from going forward saving money? Or, I mean, I'm sure that was hard.
No, it did deter me and I wasn't able to save anymore because then he was watching every penny. He was checking every receipt. And so that was one of my biggest mistakes, was leaving the things that I needed to hide in the home. I even had a notebook that I kept with our notes from the Covert Narcissist group that I did with you, the group therapy. I hid it under my spare tire in my car and he found it. So there was nothing I could hide from him. I couldn't keep anything in the home. So I had to find a friend and my family where I would go and take things.
Okay. Okay. I do encourage people to listen to what you're saying, because once they do find any signs of you gaining some independence from them, just know that their radar goes really high at that point, and then they become much more like a guard dog watching your every move.
Yes. And also violence can kick in then too. So for your own safety, I highly recommend making sure that when you start to prepare for this, that you take the extra steps to not keep anything in the home or on your person.
Right. Okay. So even having just one friend outside of this marriage that understands what's going on, one friend or trusted family member, is crucial. But you only need one. Some people, that's all they've got, but one is crucial.
I agree 100%.
Yeah. Okay. So now you're out. Divorce you said divorce is final or is about to be?
It will be final the end of December 2024.
Okay. All right. And this is releasing just a couple days after that. So right now, as we're talking, that finalization is coming. And as it releases, you'll be on the other side of that. So how do you feel now about just that piece? Is everything done and we're just waiting now for the finalization?
Yes. And I have to say to everyone, it takes a lot longer than you think it's going to. Eleanor prepped me for that. Luckily, I did a session with her. And she told me, this is going to take a lot longer than you think. So the important parts with that was to start gathering documents and paperwork. So I would make copies while he was at work or out of town and take it to my mom's house. And we started developing my side of the divorce case. And I didn't even really need a case. I just needed to know what assets we had, what bank accounts there were, bills, debts. Everything that he controlled all of that. So I wasn't ever able to really see the full scope of that. So I started to build my, what do they call that sheet that you fill out for the lawyer, your divorce?
Yeah, now I can't think of it either. But it's where they ask for all your assets.
Yeah. So I was able to do that. Otherwise I wouldn't have had access to all of that. So I started that probably 2 years ago.
Okay.
And
I think call it a discovery process.
Yes. Yeah. So I started that 2 years ago. And then the next step that my therapist had me do was to interview all the lawyers in town that were bulldogs. And I wasn't interviewing them to use them. I was interviewing them to protect myself from them. So I met with 3 of those. It cost me probably $150 each for that initial meeting, but it prevented him from using them.
Right. Because they were conflict of interest.
Yes, correct. So that was another key part that I needed to do. I don't know if that's everyone's, but with the type of covert narcissist I was dealing with, I needed to do that. And then I found the one that I actually wanted to use. Eleanor gave me the advice to file last December, and I was too afraid to do that. And I so wish now that I would have done it, because he would never have known. The process would have started, and then I would have been done probably 8 months ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
how long ago did you file? How long has this process been for you?
let's see. I moved out of the marital bedroom last March, and then I finally moved out of the marital home in August.
Okay.
I think I'm trying to remember. He was served papers in August from my attorney, and then and he doesn't have an attorney because he, doesn't need one. So he wrote his own decree. My lawyer wrote his initial decree, and then my ex rewrote the entire thing because he thought his way was better. And there was a lot of manipulative things in that decree, that version. So then my lawyer had to go over it again and rewrite that. I found with lawyers too, they're really excited to get your business. And then once you're in their queue, that it takes forever to get things from them. So that's why starting sooner than later isn't a bad thing. And you can do it behind the scenes without your significant other knowing about it.
Yes, that is true. Until they are served. Once they are served.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was afraid last year to do that he would find out because I was still living at the home, but there's no way he would have found out. So I wish that's one mishap. I wish that I would have listened to Eleanor and done it sooner.
Yeah.
Because then when you're ready and you tell the lawyer you're ready, they say, okay, you have to wait 4 months even for a mediation date. Sometimes longer because the court systems are so backed up.
Okay. Yeah, I had all the paperwork done. I had retained an attorney, all the paperwork done. My husband had no knowledge of any of this. I had everything written up. All I had to do was sign the paper in order to file for divorce. And everything then just kind of paused right there until I was ready.
Yeah.
And so it paused right there for, I want to say at that point it was maybe 2 or 3 months. And then I was like, okay, now it's time. But everything was ready. All I had to do was sign the paper.
Yes, which is so important.
Yeah.
I think I was I think I was very prepared for this just because I was able to get all of that work done before he knew about the divorce. So I was able to get all of the things that the lawyer needed handled and done before he even knew. And that gave me space and a place to be able to just sit back and wait instead of trying to do it while he's being angry at me. So
Okay.
I think that's one key part.
This is a PSA, or public sock announcement. Experts have declared Bombas socks as the best way to warm up chilly feet. These pairs are super cushy, soft, and designed for maximum coziness. Plus, for every pair purchased, another pair will be donated, so someone in need of essential clothing can stay warm this winter. Go to bombas.com/listen and use code LISTEN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/listen and use code LISTEN at checkout.
Sometimes the most painful part of getting sick is the getting better part. Waiting on hold for an appointment, sitting in crowded waiting rooms, standing in line at the pharmacy. That's painful. Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy remove these painful parts of getting better with things like 24/7 virtual visits and prescriptions delivered to your door. Thanks to Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy, healthcare just got less painful.
Of it is to get everything done prior to letting them know.
Yeah. And I think that's good advice. Okay. Now you have children in this, and you just recently made a comment before we started recording that everyone is in therapy but him, which it's humorous that we say that, but it's so true. When everybody around you is getting therapy, but not you, you might need to do some self-reflecting at that point. But can you speak to that a little bit of how, are you finding help for you? Are your kids finding help? Are things going well?
Things are going actually really well. I think it's key to get your kids into therapy probably before the divorce starts, just because they're able to build a relationship and a foundation with that therapist. I did that with my 2 older children, and that was very, very big deal for them to be able to have that in place when things happen. So they had someone to immediately talk to. I did not have that in place for my younger son, who's 14. I wish that I could have, but there was just no reason to get him there. I didn't know how to pull it off without my ex questioning me. The other 2 were older and had some mild depression, and so he kind of understood why they were going, although he did make fun of them for going, telling them that it's a crutch and that it's unnecessary. So but because my older 2 had their therapist, my younger son was able to follow in their steps and go to the people that they were seeing. And so that kind of actually helped with him.
Okay. Then I'm glad to hear that they are doing well. And there's a meme out there somewhere. I'd have to find it again, but it's a meme about that everybody around this person's in therapy, and the one that needs the therapy is the one not going to therapy.
Exactly. He does tell everyone he's in therapy, though, even though we all know that he's not. There's a lot of lying going on by him that my kids are very aware of. They're excited now to have a safe place to talk about it, because at home, when we were all growing up in that environment, we all really couldn't talk about it because he would either hear or catch us. We were all very much walking on eggshells and afraid of him. So now that we have my house, my place, now that I've moved out, we have a safe place to come and talk, and we have very healthy conversations.
I'm really glad to hear that. And it does make all the difference in the world when you can create the space inside your home the way you want it to be, which for me was centered around safety, just emotional safety of being able to speak your feelings and being able to speak your thoughts and your opinions.
Yes, exactly. And I can't tell you, the peace is so beautiful. I get chills and I could cry about it, but you dream about it, being married to someone like that, it's there and it's better than you expect. It is the most incredible. It feels like heaven.
Wow.
So,
okay. I'm so glad. And so for those who are out there listening and people who are maybe, considering, do I leave this marriage? Do I stay? Or maybe they're in the middle of leaving right now and going through that, or maybe they're choosing to stay. We've got just so many different people who listen. And not to take away even people who are here because their covert narcissistic person is their parent, a mom or a dad or an adult child. So there's so many different relationships. But for those who are listening, what do you want to say to them? What do you wish you had known as you were entering this, getting your eyes open to covert narcissism?
I wish I would have known that being codependent with someone is not healthy. I was very codependent with him, where he was in charge of all the money. He controlled all the bills. I didn't get to go to work. I wish that I would have done it anyway, instead of being afraid of him. It's not healthy. Dependency breeds hostility, which it did in my case. I wish that instead of waiting to get out because I wanted to protect my children, that I would have gotten out to show them that it's not healthy to stay in a relationship like that. Although I say that, but I have also had my kids thank me for staying as long as I did so that they didn't have to go with him 50% of the time.
Yeah. It's hard. The timing when you have kids involved is probably the hardest decision I think people face.
Yes, I definitely have a bit of survivor's guilt that I'm working through by getting out before my 14-year-old was 18. And that hasn't been easy, but it's still the right decision.
Okay. Yeah, I'm really glad to hear that. And so is it for people who are out there trying to decide, okay, can I do this? Can I get out? Can I get on my feet? Maybe they've been a stay-at-home mom and have no, financial future, in place. What would you say to them?
I would say that you absolutely can get out, and there are ways to do it. Find a therapist if you can. My therapist takes health insurance, so when I go, it's only $26, so it's affordable. She taught me how to go to the food pantry because I was cut off financially starting in June, where I had no access to money whatsoever. Luckily, I'd saved $2,000 and I had some gift cards that every time I went to the grocery store, I'd get a gift card for groceries or food. And I've been going to the food pantry. My therapist knows of a man who wants to help women get out of abusive situations. And so she was able to contact him and he was able to give me 5 months worth of rent.
Wow.
So that was another way to get out as well. You just have to ask. You need to ask. I also highly, highly recommend joining Renee's Covert Narcissist group therapy. That was an incredible support system where I was able to meet and connect with other women going through very similar situations. And we still talk today. And some of them are still in those marriages and they will send out SOS messages, at night when things are happening and there's circular conversations going on or arguments or anger. So that was very helpful. I was fortunate to be able to afford a financial advisor who is teaching me how to budget, how to handle money, what it's going to cost to be a single mom. But I know that there's resources like that online for free, watching YouTube channels. There's some pretty incredible women out there that like to teach us how to manage our money. So that's a very important skill that people need to learn.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you so much, Michelle, for sharing your story here. And I learned that this is going to release, on January 2nd, so the day after New Year's. And what a story of taking what you've been through and you were trapped and you didn't have a way out, but you found it. And now here you are ready to start your new job. Do you start your new job in December or do you start it in the new year?
January 6th, I'll start my new job.
Okay. All right. Well, congratulations on that. And I really
Thank you.
Well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, Michelle, thank you so much. And everyone out there listening, if this story resonates with you, if you are looking for this kind of help, reach out. Please reach out to me. Renee at covertnarcissism.com is my email address. And Renee is Renee. And you can also find me on the covertnarcissism.com website. But all the different programs that I offer are there. Eleanor Marks, who you mentioned, Michelle, she can also be found through me. She works with the CNG program. And so that's also a resource that is now available. So
beautiful.
All right. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. You have been listening to the Covert Narcissism podcast. If you are struggling with covert narcissism in your life, I help people to heal from covert narcissistic abuse. If you are struggling with the isolation, the self-doubt, and the obsessive thinking, then this is the program for you. I offer both group and individual options. This is live, personalized coaching that is specific to covert narcissism. Reach out to me anytime. You can find me at my website, covertnarcissism.com. I'm not a therapist and you are not a victim. I am a coach, and you are a survivor. I wish you so much peace on your journey of healing. The information provided by Renee Swanson and the Covert Narcissism podcast is for educational purposes only and is not to be used for diagnosis purposes and not intended to be a substitute for clinical care. Please consult a healthcare provider for guidance specific to your case. This material discusses narcissism in general. It does not claim that any specific person has narcissism and should not be used to refer to any specific person as having narcissism. Permission is not granted to link to or repost this material to support an allegation or a claim that any specific person is a narcissist. That would be an unauthorized misuse of the material and information provided.
Sometimes the most painful part of getting sick is the getting better part. Waiting on hold for an appointment, sitting in crowded waiting rooms, standing in line at the pharmacy. That's painful. Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy remove these painful parts of getting better with things like 24/7 virtual visits and prescriptions delivered to your door. Thanks to Amazon One Medical and Amazon Pharmacy, healthcare just got less painful.
Every idea starts with a problem. Warby Parker's was simple. Glasses are too expensive. So they set out to change that. By designing glasses in-house and selling directly to customers, they're able to offer prescription eyewear that's expertly crafted and unexpectedly affordable. Warby Parker glasses are made from premium materials like impact-resistant polycarbonate and custom acetate. And they start at just $95, including prescription lenses. Get glasses made from the good stuff. Stop by a Warby Parker store near you.